Next thing, how do you stop procrastination? Pretty easy again. You just make it stupid easy to start. How is it possible? Well, that's the main solution. Truly, that's the main solution for procrastination. How do you do so? Well, let's imagine you want to start reading, or maybe you want to go to the gym, but you have to find your shoes, you have to buy something, you have to do that, and that, you have to research all those supplements and all those things. You won't do anything. Why that so? Because that's too complicated, man. That's too complicated to start the thing. The hardest thing in any project, in anything that you want to do, is to start the project. That's the main thing, that's the hardest thing that you want to do. Let's imagine, when you start reading, that's easy to keep going, but when you start making 1-2 push-ups, easy to keep going, but going on the ground and start making the push-up or grabbing the book, starting doing something, is terribly hard, and that's why a lot of people procrastinate. So how do you do so? You make it stupid easy to start. First thing, you don't overthink it. A lot of people just overthink every time. They're like, oh man, I have to do that, and that. I remember when I had a girlfriend, I was like, yeah, we should go to the gym together. She was like, okay. She gave me 20 reasons to not go to the gym. Okay, I have to do that, I have to buy shoes, I have to buy this, I have to research all those supplements again. She gave me so much reason to not do so. Don't overthink anything and prepare before you need it. I have my setup right here. I have a camera, a light, I have my microphone. If I want to turn a video, just plug and play, Same thing for you. If you want to read more, put book everywhere. If you want to study more, make sure that all the tools and resources that you need are just at arm left. Don't make it stupid hardly. I don't know if that's where it exists to start. Make it easy to start and get going. So, next thing that we're gonna talk about in this article, you have to give your brain an ultimatum. What do I mean about that? Well, it's pretty simple. We start a little about this. We start about the deadline and the start line. Really important. What does it work? How is it possible? Well, your brain have a kind of excuses that really work for him is okay, somewhere in the afternoon. When you say somewhere in the afternoon, you can make sure that you won't do anything. And we know the story. When you say, yeah, somewhere in the afternoon, it's already night, you didn't do anything. And so you're gonna use a second excuses. Okay, somewhere tomorrow. Doesn't work, it's not really useful. So what do? Just give your brain a start line, a straight start line. You say, okay, no matter what, I will be at this place, I'm gonna start working. And so you know that you can't use these excuses. Next thing, you give a deadline. Why is that so? Well, we have something that's really useful, which is the law of Parkinson. What is the law of Parkinson? It's pretty easy, pretty simple, but really useful. It's a law which say, if you say that a work session is gonna take you 4 days or maybe 4 hours, it will take you 4 hours, But if you say, okay, I'm gonna try to do that in 2 hours, it will take you 2 hours. You don't really know how much time it's gonna take you, basically. But if you try to compress the time, your brain gonna try to find a creative solution, something to, solve the problem in a more efficient way. And that's really useful because more than that, when you give yourself a short deadline, your brain gonna start learning some skill and some stuff that you will be able to use in the future to make sure that you become more productive even more. So, next thing that you start a work session, aim for a deadline and a start line. Really important. Next thing, choose a perfect workplace. Why is that important? Well, we got a lot of people who just work everywhere they can, even a library sometimes can be really bad. And when you work in a coffee, terrible. I try to, nah, that doesn't work. Why is that so? In your environment, you have a lot of trigger, you have a lot of distraction. And every time you see somebody passing in the background, your brain gonna say, okay, processor on, I'm gonna check him, okay, that. Doesn't work. Every time you have a distraction, your processor, the processor of your brain will be taken, and you won't be able to focus on anything like that. More than that, if you have a cup of coffee right here with Starbucks and all those things, your brain gonna start thinking about Starbucks. Again, really bad strategy. A little bonus. I just want to check my cell phone. Okay, you take your cell phone. A little bonus about the environment. If you have your cell phone on your table, your brain don't see item. You see possibility for item. And when you think about the cell phone, you're gonna say, okay, let's imagine how could we do that? Or what could we do with that? You're gonna start thinking about Facebook, about Jessica on Facebook, YouTube, all those things, and so you'll be distracted and you won't get the job done, neither started. So make sure that your environment reflect the thing that you want to do. Again, we talk about the resources, the tools that you'll need, and make sure that there is no more distraction that needed. So make sure that you have that, and you'll be sure procrastination won't be a problem anymore. Okay. So now it's time for you, man. as I told you. 56 techniques, pretty cool. Like, you know a lot of stuff. But if you don't apply anything, you won't go anywhere. So make my pleasure. You choose the technique. You choose the first thing that you could do in your daily life. Maybe that's a deadline. We're gonna make like, a little recap to make sure that you have like the information that you could choose. Okay, first thing. Maybe you want to define the specific outcome every time you start the work session. Could be a good idea, to give like, a big good picture of your brain to work and give you like, help you in your effort. Next thing, the plan for procrastination. What do? You break the goal down and you make it stupid easy to start. Next thing, give your brain an ultimatum, start line and deadline to make sure that you don't have any excuses and it can't negotiate with you like trying to say, okay man, somewhere in the afternoon so we can play video game. It doesn't work, so do so, you'll be good. Next thing, change your environment. Maybe you want to start like, working like at the desk instead of like the library because there is too much people around, there is too much noise. Make sure that your environment reflects the person that you want to do and the outcome that you aim for yourself. Okay, and as I told you, now it's time. And if you want like, one of those, I created a PDF for you with a lot of information about procrastination, about productivity, with a lot of principles that will help you being more productive. So I really invite you to check the link in the description to make sure that you will become even more productive. But more than that, as I told you, choose one technique, take action, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And more than that, I'll see you in the next video. It was Louis from Go Conquer, and Go Conquer.